So there's a Christian school in Florida, and they were going to do something really nice and celebrate Autism Awareness Week. And I want to show you this poster that this Christian school, it's Trinity Christian Academy in Florida. This is the poster they put up. And let's zoom in on this and look at this because it's really nice. It is. It's really nice. Autism Awareness and Acceptance Week, the beginning of April. Very nice. And look at what they were asking the kids to do at this school. On Tuesday, it's World Autism Awareness Day. Show your support and wear blue. All right, fine. Whatever. On Wednesday, what's your passion? One characteristic of autism is to show incredible focus and passion when interested in a topic. Dress up to show something you love. That sounds very nice too. Thursday, Magnificent Mind. Wear a fun hat or wild hair to celebrate how amazing it is that God created our minds to work in unique and wonderful ways. All right. I mean, I'm not for the God talk there, but whatever. It's a Christian school. They're doing their thing. And the last thing here, let me remove myself so you could see it. Tie-dye for neurodiversity. To celebrate the beauty and the diverse spectrum of the human mind, wear tie-dye. Again, all very nice things to do. And why are they doing that? Not be more than anything else. Why would public schools do something like this too? They're doing it because, especially younger kids, they don't know much about autism. I mean, older people don't know much about autism unless maybe you have it. And it's very easy to make fun of people for thinking differently, acting differently, because you don't understand what's going on there. And if doing silly things like wearing tie-dye, wacky hair, whatever, if that helps kids become more familiar with autism and the spectrum and understanding that, people might think differently for reasons that are outside their control, because it's a genetic thing, like, that's nice. Maybe it leads to more awareness, obviously. Maybe it helps decrease bullying. I know a lot of people who are autistic who would really benefit by the idea of their friends and their classmates knowing a little more about where they're coming from. So, really nice thing that this school was trying to do. And as you saw, that was the poster they put up, I guess, in the building or sent out in late March so that kids could dress up or do whatever they want to do that week. Unfortunately, Trinity did not celebrate Autism Awareness and Acceptance Week because instead, the pastor at this school, his name is Matt Baker, he sent out a letter to parents and staff basically telling them, yeah, we are absolutely not doing this because he believes Autism Awareness Week, not autism, mind you, but Autism Awareness Week is demonic. That's his word. And he also said that recognizing autism like this, celebrating it in a way, amounts to idolatry. I'm going to show you the email that he sent here, and we're gonna read through this for a bit. Good afternoon, Trinity Christian Academy. I would like to address the recent cancellation of this week. I'm going to scroll down, blah, 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 blah. Here's what he basically says. Last year, when he was the interim head of school, they did this. He said, I allowed it to happen because it was already promoted and planned. After allowing it, I shared my concerns. I shared we would not be doing this going forward. You can imagine my surprise and concern when I heard this initiative is happening again. And I'm going to scroll down here to where he gets to the point. Here we go. Check out this bit up at the top here. The word Christian means like Christ, and it was given to the followers of Christ because they acted like Jesus. Remember those bracelets from the 2000s that asked WWJD? Oh, this is the best part. If Jesus Christ led Trinity, their school, would he have an Autism Awareness Week? Of course not. Why? Because anything that exalts itself above the name of Christ should be brought down. Yeah, those autistic kids ruin it for everybody with their me, attention-seeking, whatever. Also, anything that teaches our children to have their identity in anything other than Christ is idolatry and demonic. Let me repeat myself just so I am not quoted out of context. Any philosophy, teaching, or program that teaches our precious children that their identity is found in anything other than Christ is idolatry and demonic. Period. Let's just pause there for a moment. So, apparently, if there was like Asian American Awareness Week, and we're going to talk about famous Asian people because we don't really do that in school a lot, or there's an African American Awareness Week, or whatever, Italian American Awareness Week, all of that, this guy says, is demonic. It's evil because how dare you identify as anything other than Christian? And I gotta say, like, come on, I'm not picking on white people, but for a white male who, as far as I know, doesn't struggle with any sort of disorder or disability, for that guy to say, hey, what's with all of the rest of you saying, let's draw awareness to reasons people might be picked on, discriminated against, mocked? Why are you trying to draw awareness to that? How dare you? That must be like DEI. And so he just calls it demonic. Like, what the hell? And then it gets worse. Let me show you more in this letter here. The world, in its rejection and hatred of Christ, like, my dude, we don't think about you this much, often devises programs such as Autism Awareness, in quotation marks, and cultural figures like the Easter Bunny and Santa Claus, spelled like the Tim Allen movie and not normally. Why do we do autism awareness and Easter and Santa? To get the benefits of his teachings without acknowledging Jesus as the ultimate authority. Because as we all know, in December, you never hear about Jesus. No one celebrates Jesus around Easter. You've never heard that word before because you're all Christ haters. These initiatives imply that Jesus alone is insufficient, and we fail to recognize just how deeply they have permeated into our daily lives. Like, man, this guy is a buzzkill at Easter. Like, Easter Bunny, are you picking up Easter eggs in a hunt? Like, this is demonic children who are 6. Like, I don't know. So that was the letter Matt Baker sent out to everyone at this school explaining why they would not be celebrating Autism Awareness Week. And by the way, if Autism Awareness Week is supposed to be demonic, then hail Satan. Okay. So according to the Palm Beach Post newspaper, this little email here, he sent that out on March 30th. Um, and he said, look, I allowed it in the past, but I'm not doing it again this year. Maybe that poster went up without his knowledge and now he saw it and he's like, how dare we do that? There were a lot of people who were very, very mad about this, and including parents at the school whose kids have autism, and they were not happy with this. And I had to look in like 3 different news articles to find their quotations, but you got to see how mad these parents are here. Check out this one. This is from the Palm Beach Post. Vanessa Francisco, whose adult son has autism and whose daughter attends the school, called the note disgraceful, disrespectful, and ignorant. And she fired back at Baker and asked the school's board of directors to condemn his message. That email felt like an unprovoked attack on my family, a slap to the face I never saw coming, and from our pastor of all people. How can we continue to allow someone so grossly ignorant to preach to our children, to educate our children in any capacity? His hatred for the autistic and disabled community is so enormously obvious that I cannot stand by and just accept what he tells me. Damn. And that's just one parent. Here's another one. This is from a different local news report about this whole kerfuffle. Andrea Gallick is a mother of 2 children, a 9-year-old daughter and a 6-year-old son who attend Trinity Christian Academy. And check out what she said. Gallick said she was left in tears and she'll be pulling her kids out of the school. Good. The email comes and I feel like my heart's beating because not once but twice. He says that wearing this title of autism is demonic. And my mouth was on the floor. I'm offended as a Christian because I feel that he is using the Bible for his own interpretation. And his interpretation is offensive, not just to my son, but to any child, adult afflicted with autism. Breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. and good for her for pulling her kid from the school. There was one more that I found interesting. And check this out. This is from a woman named Heather McKay. And she is not just a parent who shared that email publicly on Facebook. She is actually a staffer at the school who posted about this. And so when news reports started coming in about what this pastor was doing, a lot of them wanted to speak to Heather because she's the one that posted all this. So you could see she says on Facebook, to say it's been a week would be an understatement. My whole world was flipped upside down. But the one thing I want to scroll down to here, someone asked her, "Go mama, that's unbelievable. Are you coming back?" Because guess what? She was fired. And look what she writes. She said she had to do this, couldn't let it go. She says, "No, we are moving to a different private school in West Palm." And again, good for her for saying, "No, we're not staying around here. We're getting the hell out of there." So again, all these parents, they either have kids who have autism who go to the school, they have siblings who have autism, and their other kids are going to the school. But I want to go back to Heather for a second because she said she was fired. Check out this article right here. Since posting the letter online, Heather was let go from Trinity Christian Academy, but was told it was not due to her sharing the letter. Like, right. The only reason anyone knows about your school is because of this guy, Matt Baker, and the stupid shit he just wrote. And she posted that letter for everyone to see. And then she got fired. And now the school's like, "Oh yeah, she got fired, but it's not because of that. Of course it's not because of the thing she posted that made our school look bad because she quoted us accurately." I had to go to a different news article to find this. WPTV also confirmed a teacher's aide, that's Heather, was fired this week after she said she posted the pastor's email on social media. She said the reason she was given was a hostile work history. That's why they allegedly fired her, not because she posted Matt Baker's crazy email publicly, but because she's hostile. She doesn't like it at the job. It's a hostile work. Listen, if you had to work with a guy like Matt Baker, who is clearly a horrible human being, how could you not be hostile? Honestly, I have questions about anyone who works at this school who isn't like at least 97% pissed off right now. So I don't know what the hell the school's doing. I hope other parents are thinking about getting the hell out of here. That would be nice. I wish they would do that. I will say that when one local news team reached out to Matt Baker saying like, "Hey buddy, now that this is all public, do you want to take back your words or anything?" He wrote them an email. I'll share this with you here. This is in the email he wrote back to them. He was not able to meet with us in person, but provided the response below. And look what he says here. "My email clarified for our community that the teachings of Christ are more than sufficient for ministering to all our precious children, and that there were moral aspects of this initiative that were diametrically opposed to the teachings of Christ." Yeah, buddy, because tie-dye is anti-Jesus, because wearing wacky hair is something Jesus condemned to hellfire for eternity. This is interesting too. Check this out from Matt Baker. "The support in the school community for my emailed message has been overwhelmingly positive, though there appears to be some vocal offense taken based on a misunderstanding of that message." Yeah. Yeah, basically all the parents who are mad, they're too stupid to understand what he was saying. Like, yeah, so there's a few of these people who are mad. Don't worry about it. I promise you my inbox is full of people who are like, "Right on. Stick it to those kids with autism. They don't matter. How dare we try to get kids to stop bullying them?" That's what his inbox looks like because he's Christian. But he wants you to know that those mothers who are speaking out are just horrible, horrible people. What a horrible dude. I wanted to mention one other. First of all, recognizing and celebrating someone's identity. I know I said this earlier, but especially when that identity is mocked or ostracized, that is incredibly important now more than ever. It is critical we teach kids from a young age that there is nothing wrong. There's nothing weird about differences, whether that's difference in accent or skin color or neurotypicalness or anything like that. Like, it's really important to teach children to accept other people who may seem different, because awareness is not some liberal buzzword. It is vital to helping kids understand their own classmates. So Trinity Christian Academy, this school, they are affiliated with the Assemblies of God, which is a Pentecostal denomination. And I went to the Assemblies of God website and I found an interesting page I wanted to share with you here, because check this out. AG News, understanding and reaching children with autism for Christ. And listen, that's a disturbing headline for many reasons, but I just want to scroll down to this. People frequently fear what they do not know or understand, or they simply jump to uninformed conclusions. Which, by the way, context aside, yeah, that's a great thing to say. If you're trying to help people understand autism and the spectrum and all of that, yeah, people do fear what they don't understand. And that's why it's important to help people become aware of it. This is from the Assemblies of God website that Matt Baker apparently doesn't give a damn about. I guess he doesn't read about his own religion. And if any of you are thinking this story sounds vaguely familiar, I talked about it in the past. This is something I discussed last September, because there was a pastor, a Baptist pastor. His name was Rick Morrow of Beulah Church in Richland, Missouri. He said that autism was caused by the devil. He said that prayers alone could heal the developmental disability, as if it needs to be healed. And he said at the time that he knew he was right, because God doesn't make junk. And of course, he got pushed back because people were like, my kid is not junk. My kid who has autism isn't like demon possessed or whatever. And by the way, that guy, Morrow, he was on the school board. He resigned from the school board after this backlash. And also, some of you may remember also, and I posted about this on Twitter a long time ago, that Christian hate preacher Greg Locke. He did a whole sermon where one of the things he said was that children with autism suffer from demon possession. He said, your kid could be demonized and attacked, but your doctor calls it autism. And he added, ain't no such diagnosis in the Bible. So again, these are just horrible people saying really ignorant things in the name of Jesus. None of it comports with our scientific understanding of autism, which has been called the most heritable of neurodevelopmental disorders. Like, genetics is what determines if you're on the spectrum, not Satan. Plenty of people with autism are high functioning. Many of them are never diagnosed. I know so many adults who are like, I have autism and I found this out and I'm 43 years old. And that explains so much about my childhood. And many parents who have raised kids with certain neurological or developmental disabilities will also tell you that it doesn't matter how difficult life may have been for those kids growing up. They wouldn't trade a thing. Their kids are perfect. Their kids are who they are because of their differences, not in spite of them. And even Christian parents will say, and I don't know why I know this and Matt Baker doesn't, but even Christian parents will tell you God doesn't make mistakes. Like, if they have children with autism, there must be a reason for it. I remember one religious parent said, my son is not autistic because he's demon possessed. He's autistic so that the works of God might be displayed in him. And again, I don't agree with any of that, but like, there are Christian reasons for autism that don't have to do with demon possession. Another pastor said, children born with any number of physical, emotional, and learning disabilities have value, dignity, and worth based on their being created in God's image. And to say otherwise, they said, is antithetical to the gospel. I won't go on with this that much more, but I will say Matt Baker, that pastor, he is still, as far as I know, still employed at Trinity Christian Academy, even though Heather is not. And in fact, this week, it seems like the administrators at the school have no clue how to deal with this. Last Friday, they had a district-wide meeting for parents, and all these parents came there because they wanted to discuss Matt Baker and his stupid email. And they held this whole meeting, and then they were done with the meeting, and it adjourned, and they just never brought up the elephant in the room. They just did not talk about it at all. And according to one article I read, a lot of parents were like, That's it? What? We're not going to talk about the thing we came here to talk about? They said they felt like the entire issue was being swept under the rug, which, yeah, buddy, it's religion. How do you think they deal with complicated issues? But again, nothing's going to change unless more parents pull their kids out of Trinity Christian Academy. If you're a parent, well, it doesn't matter if you have a kid who has autism or not, get your kids out of this school. They are teaching you horrible things there. And I'm not even saying you have to become an atheist. Go to another Christian school. There are some good ones out there, kind of, sort of. Go to another private school if you want. It's Florida. I'm sure they have vouchers for you. This is a school with only 400 students in it. It wouldn't take much for enough kids to get out of there that it would actually make a difference in how they conduct themselves. And if enough of these parents think their kids deserve a real education at the hands of adults who actually care about kids, then they would take their kids out of this school. That would be the punishment this school deserves. As far as I know, right now you only have a couple of parents willing to do that. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Let's take some questions here. Thank you for that super chat. As someone who is autistic and was a Christian, how does he know what God is saying about autistic individuals, or is he making stuff up? My friend, let me tell you something about religion. They are all making stuff up. Always. That is what they do. It's their favorite thing to do. Whatever conclusion they want to reach, they will be able to find a Bible verse to back it up. In fact, I'm going to share with you a story in just a bit that is all about that. But yeah, Matt Baker is, of course, making it all up. And I would love to know, is he being influenced by some of those other preachers who have gotten a lot of attention for saying autism is demonic? I don't know if Greg Locke influences this guy or something. But yeah, I mean, it would be very easy to find a Christian explanation for autism. Like, you can make that up too. And the fact that he jumped to, oh yeah, I have a conclusion, and it's God hates you. It's a demon. It's Satan. That's why. Like, you didn't even have to do that as a Christian. You chose to do that, buddy. I don't know. What else we got? Thank you for that super like. Seems like a bunch of Christians can't stand anyone who likes things that are different from what they like. The only legit thing is what they say, and anything they don't like is demonic. Yeah, I mean, we hear this all the time. If it's not what I like, it's Satan. Like, it's not just a Saturday Night Live bit. That really is how a lot of these people think. Joe Biden, no, it's not policy differences. It's that Biden is satanic, obviously. You know, it's that sort of messed up thinking.